The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the Talkstar Radio Network. If you'd like to give us a call this hour and speak to my very special guest, Robert Lee Camp, our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. That is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii at 1-877-528-8255. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com. And our websites, www.xzoneradio.com and xzonetv.com. Robert Camp is an author, teacher, and master astrologer. Amongst his clients, many of whom are well-known names in Hollywood, he is known for the accuracy and the insight of his personal readings. Robert has performed readings for Glenn Close, Ray Don Chung, Woody Harrelson, Mrs. Robin Williams, Mrs. Dick Van Patten, and Mrs. Merv Griffin, as well as many producers. Robert has taught hundreds of seminars and appeared on hundreds of radio and television talk shows across the United States and Canada. DJs have dubbed him Mr. Destiny as he amazes and delights their listeners, audiences, and predictions about their lives and the lives of major celebrities and many people in the news. Robert has appeared on over 1,200 radio shows and has appeared as a guest on the Mary Lou Henner Show, the Maury Povich Show, and the Roseanne Show. And he's here with us tonight here in the X Zone. Robert Lee Camp, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing great. Thanks very much for joining us tonight, Robert.
Yeah,
I've got a question for you, Robert. What is so special about a regular deck of playing cards that most people do not know?
Well, what they don't know, most people, I say very few people, are aware that the deck of cards that we take for granted, playing card games with, is a symbolic calendar of the Earth.
A symbolic calendar of the Earth.
Well, in other words, if you look at a deck of cards a little more carefully, you'll see that every number value in the deck matches something on the Earth calendar, like there's 52 cards. And
52 weeks.
2 weeks, and there's 13 cards in each suit, and there are 13 full moons every year, as well as 13 weeks in each season. But the most amazing one is when you take the entire deck of cards and add up the number on each card. Like an ace will be a 1, and a 2, 3, 4. Jack is 11, Queen is 12, and King is 13. When you take all the cards in the entire deck and add them together, it comes to 365.
Isn't that interesting?
This is what people don't know, that the deck of cards was originally invented to be a symbolic calendar that one could hold in one's hand. And then there were calculations that can be made from that to give you even further information. Like it turns out that there's a card that governs every day of the year. One card is just like the ruler of that day, and whatever card is the ruler of the day that you were born becomes what we call your birth card, and it's a symbol like an astrological sun sign, a symbol of your life and how your life will play out.
That is very interesting, Robert. You and I have to take a 2-minute commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you some more questions on a regular deck of cards, and I wonder how many people listening tonight actually knew there was a connection between the deck of cards and a calendar. X Zone Nation, Robert Lee Camp is our very special guest. His websites, lovecardsdating.com That's lovecardsdating.com and 7thunders.com. And later on, Robert will be doing readings for you if you give us a call at 1-877-528-8255. That's later on in this hour. And, wow. Who knew that when you go to Las Vegas or to any other casino that they're not playing with cards, they're playing with calendars? Well, calendars of a way. We'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as we continue live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net. Welcome back, everyone. Robert Lee Camp is our special guest. He has two websites, lovecardsdating.com, that's lovecardsdating.com, and 7thunders.com, and that's the number, 7thunders.com. Robert, what is a birthday card, and what can a birthday card tell me about myself and my relationships?
Well, first of all, there's the suit of the card, and that has significance. There's 4 suits: hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades. Mm-hmm. And people who are hearts are, and well, let me first say that these 4 suits represent the 4 stages of life. Hearts being childhood, clubs being ruling knowledge and our years in school. Diamonds are sort of adult life as we're gathering money, because it represents values and money. And then spades, which is the last phase of life, when we have wisdom, but we're getting old and we're having most usually health problems or health challenges. So when you have a heart person, they're very young, like a child. All their whole life, no matter how old they are, they're young, very young person. Clubs people, and there's a lot of clubs. It's one of the most common suits in the deck. They like to learn. They're always interested in new ideas. Like when I teach a class, generally the majority of the people in the class are clubs. And then we have diamonds, who are all interested in what things are worth in life. And when it's a diamond, they're all about the value of themselves and the value of the work that they do. They're all about accumulating wealth, because that's the big thing for them. And then spades are like the old people of the deck, and they have wisdom. And they're much more, they're much more work-oriented than the other suits. All the workaholic people or cards are the spade cards. So, Bob, do you mind giving me your birthday?
April 27th.
April 27th.
Yeah.
Now, you don't need to tell me your age if you don't want to, your year. But so you happen to be a 7 of clubs, Rob.
Okay.
And clubs is the suit of knowledge and communication. There's a lot of famous people that are 7 of clubs who are in your same business. Entertainment or in, like Jon Stewart. You ever watch The Daily Show?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Yeah, one of his cards is a 7 of clubs. And, you could just tell how brilliant he is from that 7 of clubs, because the 7 gives it's a magical number. It sits right in the middle of the suit. Like if you take the ace and all the way to the 2, 3, 4, to the king, it's 13 cards, and in the very center is the 7. And people who are 7s have sort of a magical ability because they have one foot in what we call the mundane world and one foot in the unseen world. So they're able to bring information in. So basically 7 of clubs means enlightened mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are times when you go to the opposite extreme, which is to be somewhat pessimistic or to be very depressed or down thinking. Okay? That's 7 of clubs. And the other distinctive characteristic of your card is that they love to spend money. They love to shop.
Oh, you know what? That's not me. I don't like spending money. My wife does.
Yeah, well, if you were a female 7 of clubs, trust me, you would be spending a lot. Anyway, that's a basic thing, and we have a secondary card also that's very important. Everybody does, and yours is the Queen of Spades, and anyone who's a queen is service-oriented. They're here to help other people in some way. I'm sure it's a big part of your life.
It is. It truly is. How did you discover this, John?
Robert.
I'm sorry, Robert.
Well, I was already learning astrology. I wasn't all that good at it, but I was just learning it when a friend handed me this really old book and said, here, check this out. Look up your card and read about yourself and tell me what you think of this book. So I started reading. I looked up my card, which is a Queen of Diamonds, and I read about it, and I was amazed at how accurate it was, how accurately it depicted how my life had been. It wasn't very flattering, but it was accurate. And I couldn't believe it worked because there were 8 birthdays of the year that had my same card, and I thought, this is impossible, because everything I learned in astrology was you have to be like certain days and the time of day,
right,
and the place of birth. So it just really grabbed my attention from the very beginning, and I searched for more books on it, and eventually I met a man in Los Angeles who was an author of the system, and he taught me the rest of it that I never had known existed. And he died shortly after that, and after he died, I decided to start writing some books of my own.
Can predictions be made with this method?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was just interesting. I was listening while I was waiting for the show to start. I was listening to the news about Phil Spector.
Yes.
Okay. So in this system, you have a spread of cards that's calculated. We don't actually touch cards, by the way, to do readings in this system at all, because it's all calculated from your birthday. So the year is divided up into 7 periods, which are each 52 days long.
Mm-hmm.
And Phil Spector just happens to be in the Mars period, which is the period that rules legal matters, which is very interesting. He happens to be in that same period right now, and he's got the worst card possible, the card of disappointment and ending and loss, and that's the 9 of Spades. So I would have predicted this years ago. If I'd known he was going to court now, I would have bet any amount of money that he was going to lose.
Isn't that...
And so there are cards for every 52 days of your life that are already recorded in my book, which is called The Cards of Your Destiny. This book has the record of your whole life in it, and you can read your past and test it, or you can read your future. For example, you have coming up very soon either probably a move to a new house in June or July.
You're right.
It could be divorce. I mean, this is also potential for divorce. Those cards. I'm not suggesting that's what happened, but it's a possibility.
No, you're right. We are moving.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. You have starting on June 18th. You go into the second period of the year, which we call the Venus period, which governs home and family, and you have both cards. You have two cards in there. Both cards have moves. 5 of hearts and 9 of hearts. Both of these means the ending of where you've been living and moving and changing to a new place.
Now that is very interesting because nobody knew that. We just put our house up for sale yesterday.
Well, it's nice to know you're definitely moving. I tell you that.
Yeah. What kind of successful predictions have you made using these cards? I mean, besides my move and
Phil Spector.
Phil Spector, yes.
Well, I've predicted a few of the presidential elections. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes it's just not a clear thing.
Right.
But I predicted some of those. I predicted that O.J. would win his trial and then lose his other trial, his civil suit trial. Basically, pretty much anything you can predict. And I've done a lot of predictions over the years. Nothing real recent. I actually have a website that I started called CelebrityPredictions.com, which has a bunch of my past predictions on it about different people like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. I predicted those two would get together and different things like that.
Now, when we open the phones to the Exo Nation, what information will you need from the callers in order to do a fast reading for them?
It'd be nice to know their first name and their birthday with the year.
All right, so that's all you need is their first name and their birthday. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to open up lines to 1-877-528-8255. That's toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii at 1-877-528-8255. If you would like a miniature reading by our special guest this hour, Master Astrologer Robert Lee Camp. Now, 2 websites, lovecardsdating.com and 7thunders.com. That's the number 7thunders.com. How long have you been doing this now, Robert?
Almost 20 years.
What was it like
I published my first book in 1989, actually.
Why has this method been kept secret for thousands of years?
Well, there's a group called the Order of the Magi. I didn't know about this until after I'd gotten into it for a number of years. I sort of discovered them by accident. But they are apparently the ones that kept this science alive, and they were told to basically keep it secret for a while because the whole Earth went through a really dark period where people were getting persecuted for this kind of thing for quite a while, the Dark Ages and so forth. So they had to sort of maintain it but not talk about it too much for that period of time. And then the first book ever published on this system that ever brought it to light was in 1896. That was the very first book. And we actually still have that book. It's still available because we've reprinted it. The original source document, we call it, of the entire system.
In your book, Robert, do you describe the calendar aspect of the deck of cards?
Yeah. In the introduction, I talk about that so that people get a sense for how important and how unique this system is. And this is the system, this is the science that the cards were invented for. They were not invented to be playthings. Nobody really knows where they came from. Nobody even questions it.
Right.
You just have them,
All right, Robert, you and I have to take a commercial break. When we come back after the news, we'll be going to our telephones at 1-877-528-8255. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X Zone on the Talk Star Radio Network. If you'd like to get a reading by our special guest this hour, Master Astrologer Robert Lee Camp, 1-877-528-8255. The X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard, Monday through Friday, from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, right here on Talkstar. We'll be back after the news with Robert Lee Camp. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies,
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows,
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net. 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Welcome back, X-Zone Nation. Robert Lee Camp is our very special guest this hour. And Robert, we're going to go right to our phones. Our first caller of tonight is Susan. Susan's date of birth is December 20, 1966. And Susan listens to the X-Zone on AM 580 CFRA in Ottawa. Hello, Susan.
Hello.
What is your question for Robert?
It has to do with purchasing property. Is it a good time to purchase property at this time?
Yeah, as an investment or to move?
As an investment.
As an investment. Well, if I were you, I would wait until September to do any kind of those things. Okay? Because your Saturn period begins on July 17th. Were you thinking of doing this right away or?
Within the next couple of months.
Okay, well, if you can wait till after September, it'll be better because during your Saturn period, which begins on July 17th, you're showing a card that could be a loss of money, like a purchase that goes bad in some way. Okay? So by just delaying that a little bit, you'll avoid that potential problem.
Robert, what card would Susan be?
Oh, Susan is a double heart. She's a Jack of Hearts and a King of Hearts. So Susan's whole life
Jack
is
of Hearts
all
and
about
a
relationships
what heart?
and family.
Just a moment, Susan. You were talking over Robert. I'm sorry, what card is she again, Robert?
Jack of Hearts and King of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts and King of Hearts, okay.
So she's all about family and relationships.
Interesting. I don't have family.
You don't? Oh, you're not married or anything?
No.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's unusual. I mean, most people who are hearts, relationships are usually really important to them.
All right, Susan, thanks very much for calling, and good luck with the property. Let us know how it turns out.
Great. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. 1-877-528-8255 is toll free. Judy is with us now, Robert. Her date of birth is March 12, 1955. And Judy, what is your question for Robert?
Hi, Rob and Robert.
Hello.
I would like to know what Robert sees.
Hi, Judy.
Judy, you're going to have to speak up, dear. You're very, very low.
Okay, I'll speak louder.
Thank
I have
you.
a soft voice.
I'd
like to know what Robert sees in the way of my employment or job.
The X Zone with Rob McConnell.
Oops, okay.
Yes?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question. We seem to have lines bleeding over.
Okay.
What is the question again, Judy?
Okay. I was wondering what Robert sees in the way of my career this year.
Career, okay.
Career, yeah.
Robert.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So there are some good influences right now for Judy. Judy, by the way, is a Jack of Diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, she's the same birthday as one of my sisters. And Jack of Diamonds excel at promoting and selling things. It's called the salesman card.
Oh.
So, if she's not doing that, it's interesting. My sister has done many things, but right now she's currently, for the last 10 years, she basically runs an ice cream truck business and sells ice cream to kids. And she loves kids. And so, Judy, if you're listening, something involving promotion or sales would be really good, and you have some really good influences this year.
Okay.
It looks like you could do better if you could, be willing to receive money from more than one direction. Have several irons in the fire this year. It'll be very helpful.
Okay.
And you'll do well.
Great.
I don't see any problems here. And I don't know if you've ever thought about having your own business, but that's something I would highly recommend given the influences I see here this year.
Okay.
Judy, thanks very much for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Good night now.
Night.
1-877-528-8255 is toll free. Let's go to our next caller. Caller, could I get your name and date of birth, please? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, could I get your name?
Yes, my name is Patricia.
And Patricia, what is your date of birth, dear?
November 5th.
What year?
Do I have to tell you that?
Oh, yes, it helps.
Okay, 1942.
Okay, and what is your question for Robert?
Well, my question, the thing is, he's talking about cards.
Yes.
And your date of birth.
Yes.
I don't have a specific question.
Oh, you'd like to know what he can figure out from your date of birth?
Yeah, he's talking about, from your birth date, he can, he's got a whole lot to say about just from your birth date.
But isn't there something you'd like to know, or you just want to know what he sees?
I guess I just want to know what he sees.
All right, Robert, what do you see for this young lady?
Well, she's I'm sorry, what was her first name again?
Do you want to tell Robert your first name, please?
Patricia.
Patricia, thanks.
I can barely
You are
hear
a Scorpio, and your card is the 2 of diamonds.
I can't hear you.
Robert, can you speak a little louder, please?
Can you hear me? I can't.
Yes, we can hear you fine, Patricia.
Okay.
Your card, Patricia, is the 2 of diamonds. Can you hear me?
Patricia, are you there?
I'm here. He said, did he say the 2 of diamonds?
Yes, he did.
Yes, 2 of diamonds. And all the 2s are partnership cards. So you're a partnership person. You're a relationship person because you're a 2.
See, now I've lost him.
All right, why don't you do this, Patricia? Hang up now. We'll give you a few seconds. Go to your radio, and you'll be able to hear him better.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for calling, dear. Okay, Robert, let's try this again.
We're having a little trouble with the phone system.
Yeah, see, you know what? You know what's happened with all the different telephones that are available on the market now? Some people have the good phones, some people have the bad phones. It's not not like it used to be where you could only get your telephone from your telephone supplier.
Yeah.
Now you can go to Walmart and get a phone for $5 or $6, and this is a big problem.
And then there's cell phones and all the other things, and internet phones.
And it causes a bit of a problem for us at this end.
Yeah, I can understand. So Patricia is a 2 of diamonds, and she's a Scorpio, and Scorpios have actually 2 additional cards, but that birth card is the most important. It's a 2 of diamonds, and it's a partnership card. It's also, all the 2s are really, really smart. They have a high intelligence, and they're very logical. They think in very logical terms, whereas like some other cards would be more creative or not so logical, I guess is the way to say it. 2 of diamonds usually do well financially. They're one of the cards that has fairly good financial karma. Usually they do well, even though it's only a 2. It seems like it wouldn't be so great. But actually they're one of the smartest cards when it comes to investing and things like that.
Well, there you go, Patricia. I hope that has been some help to you. And once again, we're sorry for the problem that you encountered.
You know, just all your guests your listeners might want to know that if they go to seventhunders.com, there's a free reading there they can do that tells them all about their card. It tells them their card for this year and the card for this 52 days and the card for today and what it means. So they can get this free reading anytime they want to go there.
All right, let's go back to our phones. Caller, can I get your first name, please?
My name is Laura.
Hey, Laura, how are you?
Not bad. September 17th, 1980.
Okay, and what is your question, Laura?
I'm stuck on a fork in the road, so I want to know what road should I take. You know what I mean?
Ah, okay. Good question.
Fork in the road regarding love, work, or what?
I can barely hear him.
What's your fork in the road pertaining to? Love, work, finances?
Everything, if you don't mind.
Life in general?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, well, she may not be able to hear me, but I'm going to go ahead and say this anyway. Her long-range card for this whole year, this main theme was a 3 of spades, which means this was a year to experiment, to try different things, to branch out, which is exactly what's happening. Of course, she's getting a little bit, maybe has a lot of that by now and is maybe getting a little tired of it at this point. But that's what this year was supposed to be about going off the beaten path and trying new things.
Okay.
And there's more confusion to come between now and her birthday because I see a 3 of hearts coming up, and it's going to be undecided about love and who she's with and who should she be with. Generally speaking, when you have 3s like this, you don't really make important decisions until the following birthday, which her birthday comes up in September. So it's not too far away from now. And I do predict she's going to settle down with one person. It's going to be a special relationship that's going to come along. But just one last thing, she's in the Saturn period, which is the hardest period of the year right now, and she's had to let go right now of things that she's been doing. So just remember, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. It's all going to have a happy ending by your next birthday.
All right, Laura, thank you very much for calling, and you have a wonderful weekend.
You too, thank you.
Bye-bye, dear. 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Robert Lee Camp is our special guest. He is a master astrologer. And his websites are lovecardsdating.com. That's lovecardsdating.com and 7thunders.com. That's the number 7thunders.com. Robert, how long have playing cards been around, and who originated them?
Well, all the ancient civilizations claim to have invented the cards. The Chinese, the Egyptians, they all do, which tells us that there had to have been somebody way before them that actually invented the cards. And the first book ever published, the one I mentioned earlier in the show, he claims that the cards are over 20,000 years old.
Wow.
And that they were handed down to us from the priests in Atlantis.
That is interesting. All right, let's go back to our phones. Caller, could I get your first name, your date of birth, please?
Joe.
Joe, you're going to have to speak up.
Name is Joe.
All right, Joe, and your date of birth?
April 23rd.
What year?
1939.
April 23rd, 1939?
Right.
And what is your question?
I just want to know what he finds out of my date of birth and what card I am.
All right, so what your date of birth signifies and what the card is for your date of birth. Okay.
So, Joe, It's interesting. Your name is Joe. It starts with a J, and Judy called, and her name starts with a J, and both of you are Jacks. It's very common for people who are Jacks to have a name that starts with a J, believe it or not. It's a really fascinating thing. And you are a Jack of clubs, Joe, and it's a very, very intelligent, highly intelligent card, because the Jack, Queen, and King of the suit are the highest cards in the suit. So you're a Jack in the suit of information and communications. It gives you a very high intelligence. And also very stubborn. It's like you know things, but you're also very stubborn about what you know, which can be good or bad depending on the situation at hand. So it's a very creative card. Jacks are known to have the best ideas. So it's a blessing to have that card, actually.
All right, thanks very much for calling, Joe. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
And Exo Nation, we have time for 3 more calls at 1-877-528-8255. That's toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii at 1-877-528-8255. Robert Lee Camp is our special guest, and his websites are lovecardsdating.com and seventhunders.com. Robert, have you found that people are asking you more in-depth or more spiritual questions over the last couple of years?
Well, it's been pretty consistent. I think that, things are heating up I don't know. It seems to me that things are heating up in our world.
Right.
And, I think people are a lot more concerned about their future.
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard just recently that on the Internet there's a lot more interest in astrology. And probably because there's just so much more uncertainty right now in the world. So people are looking for answers in places they normally wouldn't look.
Robert, stand by. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exo Nation, when we return, a couple more calls. And we'll take a look at the week that was and take a psychic view into next week. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the Exxon on the Talkstar Radio Network. Once again, our guest this hour is Robert Lee Camp. Websites, lovecardsdating.com and seventhunders.com. That's the number 7thunders.com. We'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue right here on Talkstar.
This is the Exxon Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a great week here on the X-Zone, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us this week. Monday, we had Sandy Andrews, Jason Lee, Robert W. Morgan, and another adventure of X-1. Tuesday night, Mike Farrell, Captain B.J. Honeycutt from MASH was with us, Eric Altman, Peter Green, and Patrick Cook. On Wednesday, William Bronson, Brian O'Day, Dr. Harriet Haberman, and Mitch Batros. On Thursday, Tanya Hawley, David Freilich, Richard Tyson. We also had George Lindsay, who played Goober Pyle on the Andy Griffith Show and was in 20 seasons of Hee Haw, was with us. Dr. William Schneid and Brian Roscoe. And tonight, my special guests were Martha Creathan Santora, the mother of a New York City firefighter who died on 9/11, John Vasquez, who talked to us about his book Incident at Fort Benning. And my guest this hour is Robert Lee Camp. He is a master astrologer, and he was talking about your destiny card and your love life. That's all this week on the X-Zone, and once again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, for allowing us to be part of your day, your night, no matter where you are on this great big world of ours. The X-Chronicles newspaper is available. We have the archives or former copies of the X-Chronicles available at scribd.com/X-Zone Radio TV. That's scribd.com/X-Zone Radio TV. And, of course, the X-Chronicle comes out twice a month now. Robert Lee Camp, I want to take this opportunity of thanking you very much for joining us tonight here on the X Zone. What does the date December 21st, 2012 mean astrologically?
2012?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not authority on that, actually.
But, if it was anything significant, wouldn't every astrologer around the world know its significance?
Well, the Mayans make a big thing about it, but they use a whole different system of astrology.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening astrologically like there's not going to be some big conjunction of planets or something like that happening. Like that's the kind of thing astrologers look for. They look for, planets getting together in a certain formation.
But isn't there going to be a galactic alignment, and we're going to be in the dead spot center of the Milky Way?
I have no idea what that means. But all I look at, I do readings for people and for corporations and organizations and things, and I can tell you about the planets around the Earth. I don't know about the galactic alignment stuff. I'm not sure about that.
All right, Robert, we have to say so long for tonight. Thanks very much, and continued success.
Thanks so much. I appreciate being on the show. I appreciate it very much.
Good night now. Well, that's it for tonight, everyone. Wow, what a week it's been and how fast it's gone by. To my producer at Master Control, Alec, thanks for keeping us up on those 4 big birds in the sky, Galaxy 4R, Telstar 7, Aglia 2, and on Satellite G3, and of course on TalkStarRadio.com, streaming audio. To my wife and senior producer, the lovely Laura Rogers, thank you, dear. To Stephanie, our segment producers, thanks, Steph. And to you, the members of the X Zone Nation, thank you for allowing us to be part of your day, your night, no matter where you are. I said that before, but it's my way of saying thank you. And once again, people are hungry, homeless, need clothing all year round. If there's any way that you can help, Salvation Army, the United Way, the Red Feather, and other organizations would be more than happy to let you help someone in need. So until next Monday, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light, and have a wonderful